to the channel. It's Rad, and Happy New Year to all of you. So 2026 upon us already, and we're gonna start off with the first lunar event that happened. It happened a day ago, the 3rd of January, early in the morning, 5:03. At least for what my calendar here is showing. So the moon became full in Cancer, and we are having a waning phase of the moon ahead of us from 3rd to 18th of January. And this is going to be the time frame that the forecast is going to hold to, 3rd to 18th of January. For as far as the moon is concerned, and the moon reflects and is responsible to our day-to-day routine. So these are going to be this is going to be the mundane and day-to-day energy that will affect the star signs. So the first thing that I'm doing for everyone who is new to these streams, that will be the collective reading. The cards for it I drew a few hours ago, so I can use them for the thumbnail. You can examine them there if you so wish. I'm going to show them to you in any case. And the first one which I drew, hold on a second. Hello, Sean. Welcome to the stream, mate. So the first one which I drew, that is 4 of Wands, followed by the second card, which is Page of Cups, and the third one that I drew, that is a Two of Wands. So these are the 3 cards. The technique and the method I'm using for reading tarot is the Elemental Dignities technique. So literally through it, these 3 cards are combined in one, so that if you want to learn how to read in pairs or combo of cards, check out that method, that technique. So what we have here is a couple of weeks ahead for finalizing stuff around and attending to really important aspects that are going to allow us to finalize cycles of development. Literally, according at least to these cards, we are on the right track, at least with something in our lives, and we can recognize that something by having a good accomplishments on that road, good accomplishments in our love life in certain department, or good accomplishments career-wise and whatnot. And that is exactly the field that we need to press even further, because within these couple of weeks, like I said, we will have the chance to attend these quite important details about it that will allow us to traverse into a new level of it, to get a better position, you know, to climb higher into the ladder of the hierarchy, and so on and so forth. Another thing about these cards is touching on the expectation front. It comes from that Elemental Dignity. Hold on a second here. 4 of Wands and Page of Cups. So these two are showing that whatever expectations, whether pleasant or unpleasant, most likely are gonna take place. There will be nothing out there that is going to surprise us and change our opinion about one person or another. So for example, if we are, and pardon me for the expression here, but if we are expecting someone to be a jerk with us, well, that is how it's gonna go. A person simply ain't gonna surprise us pleasantly and be kind of us, and vice versa as well. And if we do want to have any positive change, unfortunately, we gotta force it ourselves. Next couple of weeks is not gonna loom on its own accord on the horizon. So that is the collective reading, and now there are going to be 12 readings just like this one, and one is going to be, each one of them is going to be dedicated to a separate star sign. I'm going to run down the ecliptic meaning that I'm gonna start with Aries and in the traditional order, gonna run them down to Pisces. And after I'm done with them, the super chat is going to be conducted. So anyone who likes the stream and want to support it can do so through either super chat or a PayPal. The PayPal link you can find in the description down below, just like Yasmin did. Yasmin, thank you for the 20. Thank you, Yasmin. And also Taco, thank you for the $22.22. Thank you, mate. Happy New Year to all of you. To all that connected. Let me put you into the list. And again, at the end of the stream, you both are going to have a personalized reading, how this phase of the moon is going to affect you personally. Okay. So starting up first, like said, that will be with the Aries star sign. You can keep up what star sign I'm reading for through the glyph being displayed right there. Glyph and illustration as well. And now let me give a good shuffle and see what we got. All right, those are the Aries cards. That'll be the Ace of Cups, Two of Wands, and also Eight of Cups. Rather quite. So what can you expect within the next couple of weeks? Is rather good signs, or a I do assume that it's going to happen through a really pleasant news, which you are going to receive, that things are going to work out for you in the future. No different than having to expect you're going to get promoted. You don't exactly get promoted in these couple of weeks, but you do get the news and the promise and the conviction that that will happen in the upcoming months. So that is going to be the prime thing about you and about the upcoming couple of weeks, which is going to diminish your enthusiasm here, and you will consider your accomplishments, at least for the time being, not as big as they actually are, which they are. It's just the reward for it is gonna come on a later stage in your life and in your experience and in the future as well. Not that late though. Again, it's a matter of a few weeks more or a couple of more months. But the more you think about it, at least according to these cards, the more pleasant you're gonna feel, and also the more hopeful probably should it's the word that I should use here. So more and more hope is going to accumulate in you, which directly is going to affect your day-to-day routine and life. Simply going day by day is going to start becoming brighter and also brighter for you. Now, also another thing, it's possible to happen, again possible, not mandatory here, is a renewal of maybe hope, maybe dream. So what I'm trying to say here is that, say you want to do something back in the days, it didn't work out due to certain restriction, like you are being prohibited, you weren't allowed, and so on and so forth. And now within these couple of weeks, you can get the approval and the green light, so to speak, in order to make it, which additionally is going to contribute for the pleasant experience that you're going to have in the upcoming couple of weeks. So that was Aries is one. Now moving next, that will be Taurus. these are the three cards for Taurus: the High Priestess, Page of Swords, and Justice. I like that one. A reason for it is that I don't know when you guys are gonna go back to work. Here in Bulgaria is actually tomorrow is the first day of working into the new year, but right as you enter in it, right as you go to the position you're occupying at work, there are gonna be there people that will try to put some responsibilities which aren't yours to bear, like you know an attempt you being beguiled into doing someone else's job, having a coworker that is trying to pass on their responsibility on you, and it just is not going to work. Okay, it's uh, that situation may cause a bit of a conflict and force you into standing your ground while not having a mood of it. But at least according to these cards, you are going to do a fantastic job in it, and you will be able to weather and also deflect these attempts to be buried under a foreign responsibilities again, which is going to cause a very good start in the year where you will have a rather smooth and pleasant time and not that stressful moments in the first couple of weeks of the year. If you are single, because there is a very specific point about these cards for those of you Taurus that are single. If you are single, these couple of weeks, the true beauty of someone will go deep, beneath the skin deep. So even if you don't like how they look like, at least, I don't want to say give them a chance, but more like try to get to know them better. I mean, you can grow to find a really, really good friend in these couple of weeks, and why not a lover as well, where you thought there was no potential. Okay, next, Gemini. Those are Gemini's cards. Five of Cups, Six of Swords, and also Nine of Swords. Oh, give me a moment. Now, these cards screams about some kind of a fear. You may be afraid of that you do have to do some duty at the start of this year. You may be afraid to go back to work. You may be afraid that this year is going to bring you some kind of a bad luck or some kind of a bad event. And while your expectations are to be true about the event, about the stressfulness, about the poignancy that you may be expecting here, the fear is without grounds. What I mean is that it's not going to be nearly as bad as you think that is going to be, and even if you end up being disappointed about that you aren't getting an increase in salary, for example, that the new year is not as good as you have expected it to be, or at least the start of it. Everything is all the same, more or less. This disappointment and even a sense of loss that you may be experiencing at the start of the year here is going to be omitted quite quickly, because it's going to be difficult to believe at first, but because the choices which you made that brought you here are going to turn out to be all of the right choices. And even if you find yourself in the next couple of weeks in situations or in states of disappointments again, um, you have what to gain, and some circumstances that happen wouldn't happen if you haven't brought yourself to that state. So more or less, you're on a final stretch of some kind of uh, un, unpleasant road, and you're gonna walk it to the very end of it with your chin held high. And then, at least according to these cards, your circumstances should start rapidly improve. Hello, Cinnamon Kiss. Happy New Year. All right, next it's Cancer. Those are the cards for Cancer. Hmm. I don't want to sound accusatory, uh, but the first couple of weeks of the new year are gonna be the weeks where the past year is gonna catch up with you, and I do feel like it's not your fault. Oh my god, how can I explain? All right, let me try to explain that way. There was a job that someone was supposed to do, and that job isn't done, and now it's gonna catch up with you into the upcoming year, and you will have to finish someone else's job. Bottom line here is that in this waning moon that it is coming up, there are going to be some responsibilities you thought dealt with, you thought finished for good, are going to turn out that are not finished at all. Some of them haven't even started, haven't even been begun developing or developed, whatever, right? And it will be a couple of weeks where you're simply gonna do double time, and it's not gonna help you in any way, at least at first. But when you are done with all of that, and how fast you're gonna get done with all of that, well, that depends on you. But when you are done with all of that, you're gonna reap all the rewards of it. So you're not going to be screwed over, even though it's going to look like it that way, at least at first. And the the process itself, like the whole performance and all that, is not going to be as hard as you may think it's going to be when you kind of like when you realize that, your colleague Bob haven't filed what they were supposed to file at the end of the year, and now you have to scramble to do it for them, because otherwise you all are going to suffer because of that negligence, laziness, or whatever you want to call it. And if there is Bob here amongst the crowd, it's complete coincidence, and I do apologize for that. But bottom line here is that you're going to realize, again, Cancer, that there are things that was supposed to be finished that are unfinished, and you will have to scramble do them in the next couple of weeks. Expect to be quite busy on the law front, on the career front, in every front whatsoever, on multiple fronts. And it's going to be rather a quite of a fast pace start of the new year for you. Next one, that will be Leo. Hello, Gaia. Happy New Year. Hello, News Devon. Happy New Year to you too. How was your celebrations, guys and girls? You had a nice time? All right, those are the cards. Nine of Wands, King of Wands, and Two of Cups. Cinnamon Kiss, thank you for the £20. Thank you. And also News Devon, thank you for the £5. Thank you, News Devon. 1 second. Okay. Oh yeah, she did. She did bake the red velvet. Oh, Christmas here wasn't so good. Our puppy got sick, food poisoning. It was terrible. You know, scrambling uh, to seek for veterinary. You know, a animal doctor on the Christmas Eve. It wasn't fun at all. It was awful. But the New Year was good. No, I'm not much of a of a guy after sweet things. The only thing that I eat sweet that I just can't, resist, it's ice cream. Well, News Devon, that's awful. Yeah, it is okay. After a course of antibiotics, it's all good. Back in form. Right. For Leo, it's can I put it to words? Um, I don't know some of you will not gonna even notice the moon, the energy of the moon, because it's all going to revolve around a partnership that will be wanted about you. What I mean is that there is going to be a guy or a woman that's gonna find you to be a perfect suit for them. I don't think that this has anything to do with romantic interests, or even if it is about romantic interest, it is because you're going to serve the person in another way. Say that you're wealthy and they want you for their sugar daddy or sugar mommy or whatever you want to call it. All right, so they do have an interior motive behind the attempt to bind you in some kind of a partnership or some kind of a relationship. And these two, which are a active enemies here, okay, they are enemies. These two cards are showing that that relationship or a partnership is going to be extremely toxic to you. Now, that is a person who does not make compromises and expects to be served, for a lack of a better word. So they point with a finger, make a demand, and they expect to be not to be challenged and not to be questioned about it. And they do expect that this demand is fulfilled to the brim, so without any compromises whatsoever. And while this is going to be mutual perfect partnership first, is gonna weigh heavy on you quite fast and quite quickly. So for you, Leo, next couple of weeks, you gotta be very, very mindful whom you are getting in bed with. Well, yeah, I mean, ice cream is a nice thing. I make my own ice cream, by the way. An old family recipe from back in the days when there were no refrigerators and no ice machines. There were no cream as well, so the ice cream isn't made with cream, it's made with milk. And it's very fresh. I mean, it's really nice. It's a bit of a hassle to make it, but it's far tastier than anything that it is sold in the grocery. Far tastier. My dad is a baker and he taught me how to make an ice cream with a cream, far easier to do, okay, and it's still tasty, but the milky one, it's out of this world. It's something that I can eat all the time. Well, the milky one, it's like I said, it's quite of a hassle. I just can't explain it. But for the ice cream, for the one with the cream, you buy a 50 milliliters animal fat cream. It needs to be 30% fat or more. Crack a couple of eggs in, okay? Put a couple of vanilla extract in it, and then scramble it with a mixer on a highest highest speed that you can, and you will eventually it will become foamy and it will become uh, like a consistency of a cheesecake. Okay, the one that it is with a cheesecake, but a bit more smooth than that. Put it into your freezer, and you do have a vanilla ice cream that tastes 100 times better. Oh, you gotta put sugar in it as well. Sorry. So you gotta mix the cream with the sugar, 250 grams of sugar in it. Let the sugar melt in the cream, then crack a couple of eggs in, put a couple of vanilla extracts in, smack it with a mixer on a highest speed possible, Okay, so you can get that creamy consistency, this creamy texture. Put it into your freezer, and you do have a vanilla ice cream. The one with the milk, you gotta boil it a lot of time. You gotta boil it. Um, you gotta boil the milk first, and then add the other ingredients, and then you gotta boil it again under a very strict schematic, or a very strict. I don't know how to put it into words. Um, a recipe, so I just can't explain it here. What's the traditional Christmas dish? Oh, it's you mean Christmas Eve dish? Well, it's couple of them, okay? Actually, you need to have 9 dishes. That is the norm. 9 dishes. Bread is one. It's you do have something like bread that it is called banitsa. People who are who visit Bulgaria will know what I'm talking about. I mean, they fall in love with that. Then you do have, yeah, something that it is called sarma. That is a cabbage leaf that is wrapped around rice with mashed meat, and you boil that thing. It's it's okay. I mean, there are people liking it, there are people that don't. I don't like it personally. These are the two that are in every table at Christmas Eve. So those are the cards for Virgo. We have Ten of Pentacles, Two of Pentacles, Ace of Wands. So you will make quite a progress into already current deeds of yours. So if you are currently in a process of, getting a date, or currently of a process of building a business, currently in a process of changing home, whatever you are currently in a process in, you will make quite of a big progress to a point where you will feel very comfortable and also quite independent by the end of these couple of weeks. Reason for it, at least according to these cards, it is a double downing, right? You're going to double down on a certain aspects, but while you're double down on them, like doubling down on a person that everybody's telling you is not good for you, but while you are I did, MT. You know what I am talking about. But while you are doubling down on that person, you are in the same time going to change the approach for a much more effective one, recognizing what you are doing wrong. And this is going to make things very, very effective. So effective, in fact, that a people which thought, for example, that you are not going to be a good business partner for them, or you're not going to be a good employee, or you're not going to be a good date, are going to change their opinion, are going to seek you out to try again with you. Now, whether you're going to allow them or not is entirely up to you. According to these cards, you should stick with what you have already chosen. But again, it's entirely up to you. And I mean, you have to work really, really hard to screw that one over, right? Because it's the progress, it's really good, it's really big, and you're gonna make, if it is business or work, you're gonna make really good money off it. Should be talking about relationship that can go to a point of a family, creating a family. Yeah, there is a say here in Bulgaria, all right? Whenever you're wishing someone something, you say, I wish you health. The rest you can buy with money. But health, you can buy medicine, but that doesn't guarantee you health. All right, Libra next. Maybe so, Cinnamon Kiss. But for the Christmas Eve, the banitsa is mandatory because it's divided to slices, and every slice has a charm on it. You know, it has a blessing on it. Someone gets the blessing of health. Others, someone else is gonna get the blessing of a new house. You know, a blessing of a new car and whatnot. And I think that there are 11 pieces of it. Empty, thank you for the $20. Thank you, Empty. Let me put you into the list. Then on the New Year's Eve, we made another one of those, another banitsa with all the blessings on it. And my girlfriend decided that she's gonna go into fasting and I had to eat the whole thing of it, and I had all the blessings. So I'm gonna be very, very blessed this year. Yeah, that's true, Taco. Every slice is blessed. All right. Those are the cards for Libra. Page of Pentacles, Page of Cups, and Temperance. Very specific case, by the way, for Libra here at the start of this year. We do have a courage that is going to blossom in someone of your friends because that friend has feelings for you and they are going to try to find a way to divulge those feelings to you. Now, whether these feelings are going to be reciprocated or not from your side, that will be very individualized. So some of you Libras are going to be able to reciprocate, others will not. But this specific case is going to take place for almost every single one of you. Very, very strong. Can I put it towards a energy of it? And even there is a very big chance a person who haven't saw you as a potential date to see you in that light into the next couple of weeks. A problem here is going to be the common tongue. What I mean is that it will be very difficult for either of you to find a common theme, to find a common ground in between you two, to be able to, adopt the state of date rather easily in between each other. Other than that, this phase of the moon is going to offer you a big devotion, something that is going to literally worth your while. Again, strongly individualized. For some of you, maybe a new job. For the others, maybe a new hobby, a book for you to be devoted to, a spiritual practice, whatever the case. Okay, strongly individualized, and again, is going to worth your while. I mean, monetary. You will be able to transform it into a practice, to extract some skills from it, to sell it and whatnot. But you will end up being richer. You will end up with a wealth. What that wealth is going to be, again, very, very individualized. How do I spell it? Well, it's Cyrillic based. So I don't know how to spell it on English, okay? But I will type it on Cyrillic here in the chat. You can kind of like copy paste it if you want. That is how you spell it on Cyrillic. My language is Cyrillic based. Okay, next one, we have Scorpio. Those are the cards. Gotta do something about the lights here. Two of Cups, Nine of Pentacles, Six of Cups. All right, that may do it. All right, a really strong progress on the love front for a Scorpio. It does depend whether you are in a relationship or not, whether we are on a relationship or not. Now, for those of you, Scorpio, which aren't in a relationship, these couple of weeks are going to present you with a person that you will like on the two most important levels. That is the physical and the emotional level. That is how you're going to like it. The liking is going to be reciprocated, at least at first, and you're going to recognize that individual, because you may end up liking more than just on only one person, right? But you're going to recognize the right individual for you, as they are going to be prone to do their part in it. Okay, they ain't going to play hard to get. There will be no ego in between you two. There will be no you know, when you are from a different layers of the society, how there is some sort of a strain, how there is some sort of a restriction in between you two. You're not going to feel that with them, even though they may like different music. They may be from a different, again, layer of the society, and there will be no shyness. So you are going to be able to talk about literally everything with that woman or with that guy, and at some point it's going to feel like this is the one. Whether that's the one or not, well, that is only time, that only time can answer, because these are only minor arcana here. So it's the situation is changeable, but at the very least you're gonna find a really good match in the next couple of weeks. I hope you do not miss it. For those of us who are not single, these are going to be very pleasant times in our already currently existing relationship, where the small things in life we do, you know, the small gestures like making morning coffee for our spouse, or our spouse making morning coffee for us, the smile, the phone call, and all that is going to give us a very big pleasure. And also, not just only pleasure, but how can I put it into words? A sense of security for the most part. And it's going to feel like we aren't alone in the relationship, if you have ever felt like that. I have never felt like that, but I know from all of my, clients, that there is those states where people, although being in a relationship, they do feel being alone in that relationship. This feeling is completely going to vaporize and is going to go away in these couple of weeks, and it is just this the environment in between you and your spouse will become far more playful, enjoyable, and gleeful, for the lack of a better word here. And you can make the most out of it and build a very strong foundation for a future development of your relationship. It's just there will be love in the air for you, Scorpio, in the first weeks. Well, it will apply for for rising Scorpios is that if can I put it to words? There will be, yeah, not fine, but there will be someone. You can miss it though, because for some of the single Scorpio, it will be someone obvious. For others, it will be someone not that obvious. Yeah, those are kind of like the energies for Scorpio. Okay, moving next. Sagittarius. It's just the waning moon for Scorpio is going to attract love in their life. Well, there is nothing wrong with that. In fact, ever since I'm not single, I have learned to cook. And for the feedback I'm getting, I am a good cook. I had no idea that I can do that. But apparently I can. So I am experiencing the Ace of Wands thing, guys. Ace of Wands is when for a personal development, that is when a talent or a skill that it comes natural to you, but it was dormant by that point because you either kind of like didn't have the tools or didn't have the time or simply didn't have the environment to apply it, or you simply didn't need it, is immersing on the surface due to the new circumstances. That is literally a Ace of Wands into a personal and spiritual development. Those are the cards for Sagittarius: Four of Wands, Nine of Swords, and Ace of Pentacles. So it will turn out to be a bit disappointing for you, but in the same time, you will have a quite of a huge sense of accomplishments. That is because a really difficult task will be completed and finalized in the next couple of weeks, and that is what's gonna bring the sense of accomplishments for you. And that is going to be a hard task that you deem so. For example, for your friends, it may not look like that hard, or for your coworkers, or for your family members, whatever the case. But for you, it will be a mighty effort, an effort that you are fearing from, and that you are basically, how can I put it to words, concerned about the consequences of it. But alas, you will complete it true, and you will finalize that development. And again, that is going to bring you a great sense of accomplishment. But the disappointment comes from that it will turn out that it is not as important that you have completed it as you may thought it would have been. For example, you say a person you like has a criteria, or it has a dream, and you may think that if you do complete that dream, this is going to change completely their opinion about you, and is going to put you in a much, much brighter light than you are right now. And while completing it, it's a difficult task, and you have managed it. And while, yes, it puts you in a more brighter light than before, is not nearly as bright as you have thought it would have been. And this is where the disappointment is going to come from. So on the both fronts, Now you're gonna have some gains on the plus and on the minus one, but I do think that it was worth it just for the sake of seeing that you can manage, that you can do it, and for the great sense of accomplishment again. Well, I don't think that I can become a chef because I am cooking strictly, using recipes. I don't improvise. I don't have the palate for it. So, yeah. Capricorn next. Oh, second, guys. These are the cards for Capricorn. King of Swords, King of Wands, and Seven of Cups. King of Swords and Seven of Cups. It is a matter of need. So, literally, these couple of weeks, you're gonna end up being either introduced or just, by the chance of fate, combined or combine your efforts with an individual you need. What I mean is that you may need a good accountant to finalize 2025 year of accounting, and you're just gonna end up finding the person you need, right? So the King of Swords and the King of Wands, that combo is just the person you need that will resolve whatever concern you have ahead of you for a good compensation. Though they also have some kind of a criteria about the compensation they need to get for the work that they're going to do for you, and it will be a mutual exchange. Okay, you're going to have your things set straight by them, they are going to have whatever they are after from you, and it will be fair exchange, no harm done. It's a fair and good transaction. Seven of Cups to the King of Swords. It's like crushed expectations, up crushed positive expectations. So literally, it's more like thinking that you will be able to get away with something, or not get away, but not having to do something, like not having to attend to a certain meeting, not having to deal with a certain client, not having to put up with, say, your spouse's family. And it will turn out that if you do want to go forward with what's your strategy of life, of business, of love, you will have to put up with that to a certain extent. It's not going to be to the full degree of the worst of your imagination, but it will still be a pressing issue, and you're going to have to deal with it. For another example, you may have hoped that you don't have to have that conversation with your boss. Well, you do gonna have to have that conversation with your boss, just not to that extreme degree you're afraid of. Thank you, Cinnamon Kiss. Well, it's not just only a ratio. I mean, if you are to improvise, you need to know how the taste mixes, you know, especially from the seasoning, with ingredients and with the herbs and whatnot. I just don't. I'd made my first mac and cheese, and to my taste, it was awful. So who would have eat that? Well, my girlfriend said it was the best mac and cheese she ever tasted, and it's not because I'm her boyfriend. I'm sorry, or rather, she's my girlfriend. I made a lemon pie, was it? And it was awful. Oh, and she couldn't eat it. She said that she would rather puke and eat the vomit rather than that. A lemon pudding, or it was a lemon cream, whatever the case. So it's a matter of palate, and it seems that I don't have really a finest palate out there. Okay, Aquarius. But the pork with honey I do was awesome. Those are cards for Aquarius. The Knight of Wands, the Tower, and it's the Two of Pentacles. You see, Cinnamon Kiss, in this household, only pork is what is eaten. No other meat. No lamb, no beef, no chicken, only pork. And to top it all off, I don't eat fat. So for me, only the filet mignon or the contra filet. This is the only meat I eat. And I do understand when people want their steak juicy and whatnot with fat. I have a reflex when I taste fat, animal fat, I puke. It's just in my daycare when I was very little, they gave us some kind of a slop, and I threw up just from the taste of it. And I just can't eat fat. Animal fat is something I can't eat. It triggers the reflex and I vomit right away. So my meat, it needs to be trimmed from everything white. Otherwise, you will see your yeah, I'm not gonna get into it, but all right, for Aquarius, this waning moon is gonna offer you very unpredicted events. So the last thing you can think of, it's not gonna happen. It's gonna happen the one that you don't, yeah, and you can't think of. So your plans are gonna end up being ruined. Your expectations are going to end up being ruined, right? And your calculations as well are going to just not going to add up. And the worst part of that reading is that these are plans that you really put some soul into, so you are gonna hope that things are gonna work out. It's gonna turn out that it's just the circumstances are not lining up at all. It's just that the whole thing is leading into a very different direction. Just to give you an example of it, you are planning to have a string of nice dates with your person of interest and whatnot, and while they are interested into dating with you, it's gonna turn out, for example, that they have to go on a business trip. So your plans for these couple of weeks totally out of the window. And while this is going to be really discouraging on that front, this clearing, it's truly a purge, it's truly a clearing. This clearing is going to open up a window for a new opportunities. These are going to be, how can I put it to words, a new enterprises, completely unexpected, that are not going to line up with your original expectations, and that's why you're not going to face them with much of an enthusiasm. But these cards are encouraging, although it's going to be really difficult to try to experience anything new that life can throw your way and will throw your way next couple of weeks, because out of them can emerge literally everything. It can emerge new love, it can emerge new business, it can emerge new friendships, and these are things that you should not throw away lightly. I think that yeah, I think that the meat that I'm eating from the pork, you guys call it a ribeye, but I'm not sure. And last but not least, we got Pisces. Well, taco we call it ribica, so that's why I'm making an association with the ribeye. But like I said, I may not be quite right. Okay, it's it's a cut of a clean meat. There is no white in it. Like I said, there is no fat in it. Gaia, the moon sign shows you whether you're going, how you're gonna feel, all right? So it shows you whether you're gonna like what is happening to you or not. What is happening is displayed by the sun sign. Due to the fat, well, like I said, you can have a clean cut of a meat from pork. You don't have to eat fat. No, it isn't. There is a cut of the pork that there is no fat in it. And we call it here in Bulgaria, it's called the ribica. So that's why I'm making yeah, the filet mignon. But I think that isn't the filet mignon beef? Those are the cards for Pisces. So we have death, Six of Wands, and justice. Yeah, wow. All right, guys, for a Pisces, what it's gonna boil down to in the next couple of weeks, that is just it's not gonna suit you anymore. So what happens here is that the current line of your life, that may be your job, that may be or I don't know, I'm gonna take a picture, I'm gonna show it to you, Taco. When I buy again. We call it here either a contrafile or the ribita. Right, so that could be your job, that could be your relationship, that could be some kind of friendship, but it's just what you gain from it, it will not satisfy you anymore. You're gonna feel like you need a switch, you need a change, you need something different, you need a different relationship or a different job from the same line of work, but just on a different place, like changing the environment. And that's why in the next couple of weeks, Pisces, you may have an urge to quit your job, or an urge to break your relationship, or an urge to change, or to cut some friends loose, which there is nothing wrong with that. This urge is going to be provoked by the realization that you simply have nothing to gain from it anymore. For example, the job that you're working cannot offer you anything more than they are giving you right now. This friendship, for example, or that friendship will cannot make you grow anymore. So it's simply a waste of time. That relationship cannot go anywhere from here on moving forward. So again, it's a waste of time, and so on and so forth. And so this is what's going to blow the winds of change for you, and this change is going to take place eventually. May not take place in the next couple of weeks, but at some point you will make that severance, whether someone wants it or not. Did you lose weight, Taco, from that diet? Eggs and beef? Because what I know, and that is something the women here in Bulgaria was doing for a while. I don't know if they're doing it right now, but when I was a teenager and my classmates wanted to drop some weight, they were crazy about it and they were doing it all the time. So if you want to go to your natural frame, okay, like what the nature gave you as a genes, you eat only beef. Okay, you eat as much as you want, but it needs to be only beef. No bread, um, no garnish, right? No sauces, just only unseasoned beef. And it's because it's natural protein. The body can break it to everything it needs, and then the rest it just throws away, right? So you get just as much fat as your genes require or as your genes assigned to you to have. You get just as much carbs, you get just as much protein, and you get into your natural frame. Yeah, it's because of protein diet, but you can get yourself some kidney stones from it. You know, the protein diet, it brings kidney stones. I also do protein diet. Hello, Rocky. Happy New Year. I also eat mainly protein and a lot of carbs as well because I don't eat without bread. It's just, it's a thing about our culture. With the Bulgarians, we eat bread a lot. We eat everything with bread. Well, from a decade ago, people were jumping into eating without bread. But from my time, my generation, we eat bread with literally everything, except with pizza. It's simply stupid to eat pizza with bread. But we eat bread with everything. For example, I can't just eat steak without having bread with it. It's just it doesn't fill me up and it's not tasty at all. Rocky, thank you for the 28 Canadian. Thank you, Rocky. Yeah, I love bread too. The white one though. Everything else, the black one, the grainy one, the one with seeds, is just it's a travesty if you ask me. The bread made from real grain, well, that's a bread. I don't like mashed potato. I do prefer fries. But since you asked about the ice cream, I may record making it. I may record making it and share it with you guys. Yeah, hormones are a nasty thing. Gaia, thank you for the $5. Thank you, Gaia. We put you into the list. Hello, Jasmine. Happy New Year. No, the gallbladder has nothing to do with whether you lose or gain pounds. The gallbladder has everything to do with your stamina because it's the blood depot. And if you don't have gallbladder, you don't have blood depot, so you don't have access of blood, and therefore you tire very, very rapidly because your body doesn't have an extra blood to use to pump in your muscles. All right. But the hormones too. Jasmine, thank you for the 20. Thank you, Jasmine. Let me put you into the list. All right, starting up with the super chat, Taco, you're going to be last as per agreed. So first goes Yasmin. All right, Yasmin, those are cards here. So we do have five of wands, the star, and seven of swords. These couple of weeks in this waning moon will be really good about your job and about your work. There will be quite an unexpected opportunities happening at your work that you can truly use to put into work to fulfill your agenda. I don't know what your agenda is about your career and about your job, but you will be able to make solid progress in that direction from, again, quite of an unexpected circumstances that will appear at your job, and they will be these circumstances will be born out of a problems and predicaments which are going to be solved or negated, like they will no longer going to be present, like really, for example, like a really difficult client stop being a pain in the ass, right? And that will allow you to use these circumstances. So really good about your job. You will can expect to be quite busy, and the projects that you're going to work at work will they will develop according to whatever standards and ideals you do have currently. So really fine work is that you're going to do. This though is going to reflect your relationship on a negative front, probably because you're going to be more consumed about your job and thinking about your job even when you are at home and whatnot. Okay, and not putting too much attention to your love life and to your relationship. And another um, specific case that may develop for you in these couple of weeks is that a person at your work may start develop a romantic feelings towards you. Whether they are going to share that with you or not, that depends, on them. It's their choice. But again, you can expect some small, it's not going to be a big one, but small turmoil in your love life, while a rather big development, or a, how can I put it into words, a really um, fruitful and effective times at job and at work. Yeah, Jasmine, that's awful. Fracturing, it's quite crippling, especially, you know, if we are past 30. It's oh, so you never broke a bone before that? I broke my wrist twice when I was a teenager. All right, next, Cinnamon Kiss. You want to know whether returning to South Africa is gonna have a better effect on your family. Oh, it's a crazy feeling. I mean, it hurts very strangely, at least for me. Mm, did you went through surgery? Oh yeah, that's definitely a thing. All right, so the bone isn't snapped. That's a good thing, Jasmine. Those are the cards. Cinnamon Kiss. Cinnamon Kiss, you're gonna have a difficult time there on the career front. At least according to these cards, you will have a difficult time getting a job because of the competition. It's just, I would put it that way, natives are to be preferred over you. But on the social front, it's going to be a different picture, and you can even find love there as well with that Two of Cups being in front. The place you will settle if you decide to go there will have a pleasant neighbors. You will just gonna face a support from the community, and eventually as well the community will help you also to, how can I put it into words, to get back on your feet and even find job as well. But again, at first, it will be quite difficult to get a position in the society, and especially when it comes to work. Whether you're gonna be happier, yes, but whether you're gonna struggle more, um, yeah, it will be more. How can I put it to words? A more stressful on getting things done. But as a environment in South Africa, cinnamon case, you will definitely gonna find and gonna end up with a more support from the people around. So it seems to me like a move that is like a coin. It has two sides, and you have to bear the both of them. And whether you are going, let me check on your kids though. Your kids are gonna definitely be happier at South Africa. at least according to these cards. It's the Nine of Cups. So they definitely gonna be happier there, if we are to believe that tarot card. Well, Jasmine, we do have a say here is that if you don't stop yourself, God stops you. And it doesn't do it the nice way. Well, Cinnamon Kiss, that would be the dream, isn't it? All right, next, MT. Those are your cards, MT. Those are your cards. So this waning moon, so up until the 18th of January, you are going to receive a news from your family, bloodline family. So as I know a little bit more about you, we're talking about the family you do have on the other side of the ocean, right? And this news is gonna make you feel victorious about something, while it will be contrary to the bigger part of the family itself. So what I do think is that there is a dispute, or whatever dispute you are leading there, or whatever, how can I put it into words, a opposite opinion you do have with the members, plural, of your family there, you're going to end up being right, or this dispute is going to be judged in your favor. So that's what's going to make you feel quite victorious from all that. You're going to get the recognition, you're going to get the rewards if there are any rewards coming out of it. But this also is going to worsen even further the relationship you do have with these members of the family. Nonetheless, it's going to be a rather big win for you, and it will allow you to proceed further with your plans, for as much as you do have them for your bloodline family. All right, next, Rocky. Yes, it will be in your favor. Give me a second, Rocky. A friend of yours, Rocky, it will be pressed by an institution. I do suspect that it's going to be the government. Those are the cards. And they will most likely ask for your help. Oh, Gaia, don't worry about it. So, this will be the moment where um, you will have the opportunity to tell to that friend of yours, I told you so. Because the situation is that you have warned them about that this is going to happen. This warning may have taken place, you know, 1 year ago or a couple of years ago. It may have taken place a few months ago, but you have warned them that that is gonna happen, and now it's happening, and they are to scramble for your help. Now, the pressing may be from two natures. One is duty like. The other, though, is a pressing about health, like a bill for a hospital or a bill for uh, you know, I don't know, some kind of a medical procedure and whatnot, some kind of a treatment, that friend is gonna seek a help from you for it to cover it for a time or whatnot. And while you will be happy to oblige, at least according to these cards, not oblige, but like to extend a helping hand here, also, you are going to get something out of it. I don't know exactly what you're going to get out of it, but more like it feels more like a favor that you can count on. You will know exactly what the favor could be. And this favor that you can get back from that person in exchange will make your life much easier in the future. So quite curious how this is gonna turn out. If you can keep in touch with me and just let me know whenever that thing happens. But it's definitely a friend that is gonna be pressed by the government somehow. Another way that I'm thinking of right now is they may have worked for it. They may abuse their power, and now the government may be, or the institution of the government may be investigating them, you know, investigating their finances, investigating their conduct and whatnot. And that friend is going to need your help. Now, whether you're going to give them your help or not, entirely up to you. That's going to be the most important event for you in the upcoming couple of weeks as far as your day-to-day routine is concerned. And it's a really good friend. I mean, someone that you may be considering a bestie. Okay, next one, that will be Jasmine. Can he be your boss? Yeah, I mean, that assistant may go after him with a lawsuit, like, unlawful termination of a contract, something like this, and um, that classifies, it will have nothing to do with you helping training the new one. It's more like the old one, files a unlawful termination, and you may be asked to help about gathering up the documents that are required um, as an evidence and whatnot, and preparing the testimonies of the witnesses and so on and so forth. You're welcome, Cinnamon Kiss. I hope we all have a wonderful one. This one, though, it looks like that is going to be better than the last one. The last one was, oh my god, it was a crazy one. Yeah, it is, Rocky. It may be totally unrelated, though. All right, next one, that will be Jasmine. All right, Jasmine, these are the cards. Uh, you're gonna start talking with someone either over phone or either over a social media tool, like, for example, Messenger, for example, WhatsApp, for example, Viber. I don't know whether in the United States Viber is popular. Um, I think that Telegram and WhatsApp it's more popular in the United States. Here in Europe, Viber is the go-to message app. Um, so you're gonna talk in the topic at first probably is gonna be something quite unrelated, like a common opinion, like mutual opinion you do have over an event, a worldwide event. You may end up introducing each other through I don't know, a social group that you are both members of. But bottom line is that you both are gonna start liking each other very, very much. And these couple of weeks, you are going to talk quite extensively, at least for what those cards are showing. So extensively, in fact, that by the end of these couple of weeks, you both are going to feel that you do know each other enough so you can take a further step into the development of your connection and of your relationship, if we can call it that. Like, for example, to see each other in person. A big premature move for the time being, but not a wrong one. Just, whenever and if you decide to take on that move, take it with a grain of salt that you do not know that person as well as you may think you know them. And that is not necessarily a bad thing. You just may end up being surprised, again, not necessarily unpleasantly in the future if you speed up the process of getting to know each other quicker than it usually takes. So it's a new person of interest for you, Jasmine. Okay, news the bone next. You're welcome, Jasmine. You can only make it vanilla. Everything else, because it's with a milk, it's not with cream, is gonna freeze solid ice in it. If you put a chocolate, it's gonna freeze solid ice. Okay, it's gonna become a solid chunks of block. Everything, literally, because this ice cream, it doesn't have the necessary fat to stay creamy. So it's an ice cream type scrigina, and you can only make it vanilla, or if you want to flavor it with something else, you gotta get an artificial essences like lemon juice essence and whatever. Right, cinnamon kiss. Those are cards. Do have the Empress and the Ten of Swords. So you're gonna end up in not cinnamon kiss, but news devon. I'm sorry. So news devon, you're gonna end up in a situation where you're gonna have to decide for the many, right? I don't know whether it's going to be at work or in your social circle or whatever. Okay, but simply you're gonna be put in again in a situation where everything is going to hang on your decision, or your decision is going to affect everyone that is involved in the situation itself. And what will be important at that time is to give yourself a bit of a break, making the choice right away, even though you may think that you know everything and you think that you have scaled all the sides, is going to be the wrong one you make, and is going to ruin everything moving forward in that department. For example, here you may be put in a situation whether to decide should you make a relationship with someone or should you just let go or break it. You may think that at that point you do know the right answer, and even if it is the right answer, you may take the wrong approach. So it's best to put your verdict for a few days off, take a break, don't see each other with that person. And the reason for that behavior of your side is to be able to see the situation from objective perspective. Same thing about work. If you're put in a situation to decide what you are going to do about your job, don't make the decision right away, but instead take a few days off. And it's important to withdraw from the midst of activities, because that way, by looking at the situation objectively, you will be able to come up with the most balanced, mature, and well-found decision that you can come up with, on which decision you can devise a long-term plan moving forward, even if you have to, for example, quit your job, break your relationship, cut a friend loose, and so on and so forth. It's just, it will be done the right way, and it will be for the greater good for everyone. So a tough situation is that you're going to be put in, but I think that you're going to walk out of it with a flying colors if you maintain your calmness, you're cool, and you don't cave in on panic. All right, next one, that will be Gaia. So you want to know whether you do have a chance with that person N or not. Let's have a look. Those are the cards. Yes, you do. But it's look, Gaia, the Lover's card, it's one of at least I do consider one of the worst to have for a love interest. The reason for it is, I don't know why people were so excited when they get it. It's, like I said, one of the worst, because the card shows that simply you don't share the same things as interests, right? The Lovers, it's all about, it's like the yin and yang, right? Two perfectly matching opposites. So whatever interests you do have, that person just doesn't share it. They don't bother him or bother her, depending on your preferences, but don't share them, right? So you aren't in direct conflict with each other, but in the same time, you don't have almost anything in common with one another. And the question is whether those differences are a reason to drive a wedge in between the two, or these differences are a reason to consider that you are being special to one another. That is something you gotta find out, and the answer to it will give you the answer whether that chance can be manifested or not, because we can't make a choice for that person. Right, and last but not least, that will be you, Taco. And use the one that was Gaia's answer. I already made yours. Yours was about a choice. You're going to be put in a rather difficult situation to decide. uh, it's a precarious situation. Those are your Lenormand cards, Sako. So we do have the fish, the heart, and the stork. And these are your tarot cards to it. It's the Knight of Cups, Seven of Pentacles, Two of Swords. Um, Next couple of weeks, you will be flirted with, for lack of better words. What I mean is that there is going to be, I do suspect, a woman here that will try to get in a relationship with you because of your money. Okay? Like, money is all that she will be interested in, and you simply fit with, you know, their hers expectations and imaginations, what can fix her life. Simply, at least according to these cards, you're gonna end up presented as everything that she is wanting at that point as a man in her life. And I can kind of like see the reasoning for it. I mean, a foreigner, American, of all that, you know, with money, probably, at least for the standard that she's living in, and she's going to make quite of an advances. Now, whether you're going to answer to these advances or not is entirely up to you, considering that you are already married. But literally, this is what's is going to be the most important event for you for the upcoming couple of weeks. And at least according to these cards, Taco, if you decide to go along with it, she's gonna make a run for these money. Just so you know. But you can completely turn her away and not put up with that thing, an affair and all that. Good night, Gaia. Alright guys, so that's gonna do it for tonight. Thank you so much for watching. And as well, thank you so much for your generosity. We're gonna see each other in Thursday. We're gonna have a Thursday. Hold on a second to check out. So Thursday is 8. It's gonna be what we need to know, because there is literally nothing going in the sky at that period. It's quite of a dry time from 3rd to 17th. We don't have literally anything in the sky. Sorry. So yeah, Thursday is going to be my favorite topic, which is what we need to know. Again, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for your generosity. And hopefully we're going to see each other then and there. Until then, bye.